Hello everyone. Again we have a new problem of Leetcode September challenge, and the problem name is a basic calculator. So what actually the problem is, we have a given string s, and the string which is given to us is a valid expression. We don't have to think about it. We have to implement a basic calculator and evaluate the expression. Okay, so this is the problem. And the note is we don't have to use any inbuilt function, like we don't have to use the inbuilt function in order to calculate it. We have to create our own code. As you can see, the first test case, we have 1 plus 1, which is 2, as we know very well, and for 2 minus 1, which is 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3, so answer is 3. In the case of parenthesization, what we do, we solve this parenthesization, we solve this parenthesization. So the 1 plus 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 plus 1 is 12, 12 minus 3 is 9, and 9 plus 6 plus 8 is 23. So the answer is 23. And in the constants, you can see that the length of our string is maximum 3 to the 3 power 10 raised power 5, 3 into 10 to the raised power 5, and the minimum value of s is 1. And in our string we may plus minus opening bracket, closing bracket, and empty space, and we have to calculate it. Okay, so before come to the representation, if you see all these things, it is a basic thing. Okay, like we have to add and multiply this. So come to the presentation. Problem is basic calculator, hard problem Leetcode. Okay, so in order to solve this, I am taking three different types, like how we can solve it. If we understand how we solve that, how we solve this, and how we solve this, then the whole problem is automatically solved. So we see one by one and try to understand how we can do it. Okay, we will try to create our logic. So the first thing that we have to check is for 1 plus 1, right? So the one of the most important thing comes in mind, like which data structure we use in order to solve this problem. So there is a lot of data structures we have, but in case if there is a problem where we have to evaluate some expression, if you know the if you learn when you learn the data structures and algorithm, there is a lot of problems which is infix, postfix expressions. Okay, in that problems we actually use stacks. Why we actually use stacks? When we try to understand these three things, you understand why we actually need stack for that. Okay, but in most of the cases when we have to evaluate some expression, the stack is a very preferable data structure we can use. So first we have to see how we can calculate it. So in simple words, if I'm saying that you have to calculate 1 plus 1, you saying okay it is 2. How your brain thinks for that? Simple. You see there is a 1, you see there is an addition, and you see there is another one. So you simply add it. But how we can add it, or how we can do this with our programming skills? So see, if if I just take a data structure, in order to solve this problem we just need something. We just need variables and data structures. So I'm using a stack. Okay, and I'm using something like answer so far. Sorry, using something answer so far. What do you mean by answer so far? Answer so far means we iterate this whole string and calculate at any position what is the calculated answer we have. So we have an answer for so far which is initially 0. We have our answer that we actually have to calculate, initially it is 0, and there is one more thing you can see. This can be plus sign or this can be a negative sign. So we have to check, or we have to think is if it is a plus or if it is a negative, because whatever the evaluation we did in that problem, is totally depend upon the sign. So we are using some variables which is operation type variable, and you can give any name suited. So here for plus sign I am taking 1, and for minus sign I am taking minus 1. Why? See, you can simply say if there is a 1 then plus 1, we can simply multiply 1 and 1 with a 1, and then we can simply add. And let's suppose if there is a negative sign, we will think for that. So the sign is minus 1, so we will multiply this one with minus, and the 1 minus 1 is 0. Don't think for that if it is not clear there, because in the next some minutes we will understand that. Okay, so we have this answer so far, and we have this answer, and this is the operation. Initially we take it as 1, which means the sign is positive. So let's try to solve it. So when we are here, we check what is the character we have. So if we are checking if the character is a valid digit, so what we do, we simply check is that is a consecutive digit or there is a single digit. It means, let's suppose if you have an expression like 1 2 plus 3, so this is a consecutive expression 1 2, so we have to check it. So we check if it is a consecutive expression or a character or consecutive digits, or it is a single digit. So we check, yeah, it is a single digit. Then what we will do, the answer so far is 1, and the operation so far is 1. It means positive. So we can multiply this. Okay, let me do all these things there. So the answer so far is initially 0. Okay, and the operation is 1. So what is the expression that we have? We simply make it answer so far, which is 1, and multiply the operation that we have for now, which is 1, which gives us 1. And after that what we will do, the answer that we have, we just append, we just add 1 to it. 0 plus 1 is 1, so we have 1 there. Is that right? It looks fine. So we have answer now there. After make changes in that answer, we will update this answer so far. Now it is 1, we will make it 0. Okay, okay, understand. Now we go next. We see there is a plus sign. What we do, we simply make our operation to be 1. So it is already 1, so we will make it 1. Now we will go to next one. Now we will check if it is a single one or if it is a consecutive digit. So we can say it is a single digit. So what we did, as we did in that position, what is the answer so far? Adding what is the digit that we have, which is 1, multiply the operation, that is 1. So 1 into 1 is 1, and 1 plus 0 is 1, and after calculating answer so far, we add this thing to our answer. So answer is equal to the whatever the answer we have plus, we can say answer so far. So answer so far is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so the answer is 2. Now when we move ahead, the string is empty and we have to return this answer. Okay, that is clear. Now let's take another example and see if there is a 1 minus 1, how it works, so that it can give more clarity to you. So let me rub this. Okay, and answer so far is initially 0, answer is 0, and we have 1 as operation. So when we are there, we are checking if it is a single digit or there is a consecutive digit. So there is a single digit, and what we did, whatever the answer so far plus whatever the digit we have, which is 1, multiply whatever the sign. Initially it is positive, so 1 multiply 1, so it becomes 1. After that we append, we add this 1 to our main answer, so 0 plus 1 is 1. After that we make this answer so far again 0, because we have to calculate the next step. Now we will go over. Now the sign is minus 1, so if it is minus 1 we make it is minus 1. For minus we make it minus 1. Now move next. Now we check if it is a single digit or a consecutive, but it is a single digit. What we will do, we will calculate answer so far. So it is 1. Now in that case you can see my operation is minus 1, so we multiply with minus 1, which is minus 1, and whatever the answer which is 1, we add answer so far plus minus 1, which is 0, and we are returning 0 when we come out of this. So this is the first thing. If we have a single things like this, we can calculate it without using any stack. Now the question is where we use stack. Wait for that, we will move to this. So the first point, which is how we can calculate this, is clear. Now this point is clear. Now let's understand that part. Okay, now let's understand that part. So the part is uh, 2 plus 1 minus 3 plus 2, whatever it is. So we have 2 plus 1 minus 3 plus 2. Let's take all those things that we need. So we are needed a stack. So we need a stack. We need 3 variables, which is answer so far. Just okay. Answer so far. There is an answer and there is a operation. Initially it is 1. Now this is another category we have to think about. Now let's suppose if you have something and you have to calculate it. How we can calculate it? The basic answer which comes to your mind is, first we calculate it, then we calculate it, and whatever the operation between them, just applied it. Okay, so what we learned before, we are using only answer so far, answer and operation. If we did it, so let's suppose we calculate 3. Now when we have to calculate this whole bunch of expression, then how we can handle the previous thing that we calculate? So for that, for storing the previous expression or previous bunch of expression, we are using stack. How we use it, we see in the iteration part. So let's start with. So in that, when we are start iterating, what we did, if there is an opening bracket, what it means? It means some bunch of expression is ready to start. So when there is an opening bracket, whatever the answer so far we have, or we can say whatever the output we have, we just push this thing to our stack, and whatever the answer so far we have, sorry, whatever the operation we have, just put that into our stack. Now let's calculate it. The calculation is very easy. As we know, if there is a 2, answer so far is 2, because a 0, 2 multiplied by operation is 1, so it is 2, so we answer so far is 2. Then there is a plus sign, operation is remaining plus, this is 2 actually. Then we will go there, we check if it is a single digit or it is a consecutive digit. It is a single digit. What we did at that point, we simply calculate our answer so far. After that it is 0. So how we can calculate? 0 plus value is 1 multiply our operation is 1, which is 1. So add this 1 to our answer, it becomes 3. Now the things come here. When we have this closing bracket, it means whatever the thing we are calculating is completed, like the bunch of expression is completed. At this position our answer is 3. Now what we did here, whatever the expression previously we have, just remove it from there. So this is 3, expression is 1, so multiply it with 1, so we have 3. After that, whatever the number that we have, just add, and we have 3. So we successfully calculated this whole bunch of code. whole bunch of expression. Now for more clarity, just move ahead and see. So now we reach here and we have a negative sign. Let's make the operation to be -1. Now again we are getting, okay, so when we pop from there, this is empty now, okay, let me make this empty. Now we are getting again a opening bracket. It means there is another bunch of expression we have to evaluate. At that position, what we have to do, whatever the answer and whatever the operation, we have to add it, which is 3, and the operation is -1. Now again we calculate it, which is 5, and I think it is easy for you. Now after doing all these iterations, we reach here, and when we reach here, it means the bunch of expression evaluation is completed. Now what we did, whatever the answer so far is 5, the answer for that is 5, so we have 5 for this one expression. Now we make it from there, which is multiply, may pop whatever the operation we have, pop from there, and we have -5. Okay, we have -5. After that we have to pop this, and the -5 plus 3 is -2, and we successfully calculated -2 because 2 plus 1 is 3 minus 5, which is -2. Okay, and the last thing that we have to think about is -3 plus 5. Let's see how we can do it. So there is a -3, then plus, then 5. Initially we have answer, so far we have our answer and we have our operation. So initially this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. So when we start iterating from there, this is negative, so we make it -1. Now this is 3, so we check if it is a single or a consecutive. This is a single, so what we did, we simply make this 3 and add it there. Now it again becomes 0. Now it is plus. Okay, now there is a one thing I forget. What? So this is the answer so far 0. We have to add the digit we have, which is 3, multiply by the operation. Here the operation is -3. That is the important thing. It becomes -3, and we have to add up -3 there, which becomes, now the answer is -3. After that we go here, it becomes plus, so we make it plus. Now we have 5, so we will calculate it again. So 0 plus 5, operation is 1, which is 5, and we are adding this 5 to this, so it becomes what, 2. So the answer is 2. And one more thing I will add up for the consecutive things, because if there is a 12 plus, if there is a 3, what we did, we are there and we check if its next one is also a digit. If it is a digit, what we will do, now my digit is 1, my answer so far is 1, so we multiply 10 to it, plus whatever the next digit we have, just add it. This is a simple thing, so it becomes 10 plus 2 and it becomes 12. And if it is 124, let's suppose, so we will check if its next character is a digit, so we will multiply 10, then add 4, which is 120 plus 4, and it is 124. And whatever the thing we have, we already see it. Okay, so I think you can create a code, and the whole problem is divided into 3 major parts. So let's see the code and understand it. Okay, so the code is very easy, as I said. So we have 3 things. There is operation, there is a number so far, and there is the output. Now there is a stack and there is an I. Simply, if the character is a positive, operation becomes 1. There is a simple incrementation. After that, if it is a negative, it becomes -1. And now if it is an opening bracket, it means there is a bunch of expression we have to evaluate. So whatever the output we have, we just put it in this tag. We also put the operation we have in this tag, and after that make our output 0, because for the bunch of expression after this bracket, we have to calculate. That's why we make it 0, because whatever the output before that we actually store in the stack. That's why we are using stack. After that we will calculate. After that, if we are getting and closing bracket, we will pop things. As I say, whatever the output we have, we calculate and multiply it with the operation which is pushed in this stack. Visualize that. And after that, whatever the output which is present in this stack, we will remove it and then add it to our output which I calculated in between these two brackets. And what is that thing? If this is not a space and the character is a digit, okay, if this is a digit, what we do, this is a number so far, and in that we are checking the number, we are checking the digit is a single digit or a consecutive one. So we are checking for the next. If it is the length less than the length of the string, and if it is a digit, what we will do, we will simply calculate the number so far, and after that we are adding this to our output, whatever the number so far we have, and again make it 0 because we have to calculate the next characters we have. And if none of them meets, we simply increment to our next character. So that is the code. And for digit, I simply did one thing. Whatever the string we have, it should not be opening bracket, not be closing bracket, not a space, not a minus, not a plus sign, because these are all the possibility that we have. If it is not, then it means it should be a number, so we return true, otherwise we return false. So I think the problem runs well. Okay, so it is accepted. I think you got the problem and the explanation. I think you get it. If you like it, please comment so that it motivates me to create more and more videos with a beautiful explanation. Thank you friends. Bye bye.